What is going on, everybody? Hope you are having a wonderful Thursday. Today is Today is May 8th. My name is Jay Chains. Thank you for joining. Make sure that you smash that like button, tap that X heart. If you are watching on an X, it is a heart, so tap that heart, if you will. We did at one point, God, I tried to give it the elbow, but our human skin is a little too thick for our phones to register on the elbow there. So you got to actually use a finger. That's the only way to make it happen. So we got to put a little bit of effort into it. But I sure do appreciate it. I appreciate you guys being here. It is 1:30 in the afternoon, and we have had a smoking hot morning in the crypto market. Things are up. The whole market's up like, I don't know, 5-6%, something like that. So we'll get over to that in just a little bit here. Some house cleaning, if you will. Guys, this morning, I did a Phemex space with Federico, who's the CEO, right? And then Sergio, who was the host. He's in charge of like VIP and marketing. And then also Cassius Couvé, my guy. So we had a great time yucking it up, talking about trading, talking about, kind of the market, where we think things are going. And then ultimately we got into a conversation about IRL events and are they important? And I think, we can all agree that they are definitely important. And it adds like another layer, another level of what we try to do here in crypto, especially, and I'm saying for me, like I get a different perspective out of all of this as someone who creates content, has a platform, so, whatever. I get a chance to connect with fans. I get a chance to connect with people in the community. Like, it's different than just going there as an attendee for me. And so it's totally necessary for what I do. In fact, it's like, really kind of what makes the whole thing work. And it's just fantastic. But so there was a great conversation. So I suggest that you guys go back and check that space out. I have posted 2 clips from the show. I recorded it on the back end of here. So one thing that I was talking about with IRL events, and then also what Cassius was talking about. And so I posted those on my X. Make sure you guys check that out. Definitely be doing that. All right. So Mike Vollmer in the building. What's up, my G? Okay, so that was this morning. And then also, in related Phemex news, here we go. We have got the Pizza Trading Carnival. The Pizza Trading Carnival right here. And we got this event that is happening right now. If you guys, let me make this a little bit bigger. This seems a little small. If you guys, there we go. All right, so if you want to check it out and join the competition, go to the link in my bio. If here, I'll put this up here so you sound sucks on YouTube. Is this any better? I would think that this is probably going to be better. Like button mashed. Okay, so you guys should be able to hear everything a lot better now. Thank you for joining. If you are just joining, you missed nothing. Don't go to the beginning. And if you've been actually hanging out here for the last couple minutes, thank you. Appreciate it, your boy Jay. Appreciate you. All right, there we go. Now we are good. So what it was is that I had the microphone back there on from the morning space with Phemex, and so now I'm back at my desk. So as you can see, well, if we were to go, boom, right there. So this mic was the one that was on. But anyway, we're back. My apologies, and I appreciate you guys. But what I was saying is if we go here, and if you go to Phemex right here, we got the Phemex Pizza Trading Carnival going on. There's the next 12 days, 16 hours. It's leading up to Bitcoin Pizza Day, which is on May 22nd, which, by the way, we're hosting an event at the Atlanta Blockchain Center here in Atlanta. If you are local, would love to see you. Free pizza, music, hanging out, talk crypto, all that stuff. Plenty of activations and a lot of fun stuff. If you don't live in this area, there is probably more chances than not that you will have a Pizza Day party in your local area. So check it out and see. But if you are in the local area, we'd love to see you come down here. But that being said, This pizza trading competition is going on right now. Look, your first deposit. So for everybody that's bitching and moaning about having to start a new account, just do it. You don't have to KYC. You don't have to do any VPN stuff. You just sign up. I've whitelisted so that you guys are good, right? And so you could get $100 bonus with your deposit. You can pull a share of $45,000 for this trade competition. Last one, the Easter one, I won on a couple bucks on both accounts, right? So this one right here, look at this. Look at this. We got our trading volume up to 211,000. We are sitting in the 46th seat of this trading competition of many. I don't know how many they show. Let's see. They show the top what? Here we go. We're going to be on top 50. There we are. J Chains. Come on, guys. Join the squad. Quit being a bunch of bums. You don't have to trade a lot. You do not have to trade a lot. Look at some of these thresholds for the prizes. $500 to $10,000. It's super easy to trade. If you were to trade $100 on 5X, there's $500. There you go. You qualify to potentially win something. So come on, guys. Join us. Have some fun. Link in bio. If you are watching on X, you can just click the link right there, sign up, bada boom, bada bing. Make sure you drop me your UID. Also, I've got a Telegram like calls and signals group with like expert calls that come in. This is set up through Phemex. So it's not just me, right? It's like actual pro traders too that are putting these calls in, letting you know there's scalps, there's day trade, all sorts of stuff coming in there, but you gotta be signed up under the account to get in there. I don't know if you heard that this morning on the space. So I'm just saying, guys, I'm number 46 in the competition here. Like we're doing good. And I am on I mean, I'll probably jinx myself, so I'm not going to say it. I'm streaking. All right. And so we're not going to jinx it anymore, but there you go. Come hang out and come trade with the squad. Appreciate you guys. Call me J Chains, and the J is for juicy Chains. It's funny, actually. So I had gotten that question when I was at the VeChain thing at ABC it was 2 weeks ago. And somebody was asking, like, where did I get my nickname from? Where did J-Chains come from? And it actually came from before crypto. It was my motorcycle buddies in Austin because, it was a conversation that we were having. And, some bikes are belt driven, some are shaft driven, some are chain driven. And I just would never drive a chain driven bike just because of the problems you have. You have a much, much better chance of having like no issues with a belt driven, or even some bikes have the shaft. And I've had one of those. It was a Honda something. Oh God, I can't remember which one it was, but the whole idea of not using a chain this way, you can't get stranded. A chain can just bust. I've seen all that, and that caused problems. But in all the riding that I've done, I've never seen a belt snap. It could happen, I'm sure, but have not seen it. So, all right, we hitting them juicy trades, baby. You are darn right, Bitcoin Henry. So join the squad, guys. Tap the link in the bottom of the description or in my bio on X. Come join, trade with us. We're gonna be doing all sorts of fun giveaways, stuff. Listen. Phemex is my jam. Like, I've been using Phemex for years. That's why the partnership made the most amount of sense. There were other company and other exchanges that wanted to do business, but honestly, like, I use Phemex. I have been using Phemex for so long, like, it makes the most sense. And so come trade over there with us. You can have your accounts on some of the other exchanges. That's okay. Just launch a new one and come have some fun with us. All right. I believe that it. Chains Angels, yeah, Hell's Angels, Chains Angels, that's what that's my squad. If you all are in the trenches with me, you're in the chain gang, right? But my gaggle, my gaggle is my wife and my daughter. Those are the Chains Angels. I'm a ladies, and that's my wife and my daughter, my ladies. All right, let's get into this show. Enough of the bullshit. Enough bullshitting. And boom, here we go. All right. So we are on CoinMarketCap. Man, I said 5 or 6%, 5.63%. We are up today to 3.15 trillion. Guys, we were at like 2.9 just the other day. So we are seeing this nice come up on the market cap. And we'll look at what the true market cap shows us on TradingView, because I get a little excited about 3.15, but I bet TradingView is going to show us a little bit lower. And for whatever reason, that's the one I go with. Same thing with like the dominance and all that stuff. And so All right, so we have got altcoin season to 33. We love to see that. Fear and greed up to 53. It was 50 yesterday. So we are at 53. Let's look at our shrimp. What's about little shrimp and friends? Can we go check on our little shrimps? All right. Here we go. Bitcoin's now up 3.87% in the last 90 days. Love to see that. There are some ones at virtual up 48%. Love to see that. I know a couple of us here in the community are in the virtual, the token holding. It's in our wallet or whatever, however you say. SWE up 25%. Okay. So usually everything that is outperforming Bitcoin, generally speaking, is trash. Trash coins that I would never want in my portfolio. But there are some that are outperforming Bitcoin right now. But what we like to do is go shrimping. Let's see if there's anything here that we should be looking at that is still way down. I mean, come on, dude. Come on, dude. Isn't that dude coin supposed to be launching today anyway? Tomorrow, May 9th. It's going to be on Solana. So we're going to do something with the Phemex stuff because you got Memex on Phemex. And you can do Solana, BNB, and Base. So tomorrow we're gonna get some of that, dude. Remember, dude. Okay. So I mean, at the end of the day, 30s, not really. It's not the best shrimping conditions. You know, sometimes when the shrimping boats go out, they don't catch much. That's like today. We're gonna go out there. We're like, all right, man, we can throw out the net, see if there's anything. But if I catch anything, I don't really want to put any of those in my portfolio, but Ondo at 31%, I'm already trading Ondo, so I don't need to add more as a shrimping. Plus, let's check our port, as you guys know. Oh shit, yeah, we're back up today. Let's get it. Up $90 on our shrimping port. So we have got all right, so okay, nice. Fetch AI is our #1 gainer. Now remember, we did $100 in 5 coins. We set a $500 portfolio, currently at $783.50. So Fetch AI has done 92, almost 93%. Love to see that, almost Dubsky. Then we got JASMY coins up to 178, so we've done 78%. Then we got Render, who's done 155, so almost 156, almost 56%. Love to see that. And then the Graph moving a little bit, 33% up to 133. And then PYTH, 23%. PYTH is going to probably forever be our laggard. It just is, it is what it is. PYTH heads, I'm with you. Don't worry, we have it in the port. But I'll tell you what, man, that thing needs to giddy up and go, or it is going to actually go. All right. Let me get a sip of my water. All right, here we go. 101,094. Bitcoin crushing it today, up almost 5%. I know we love to see that. Everybody, when you woke up to your portfolio this morning, I was trading intermittently throughout the night, so I saw what was happening. It was one of those nights, man. Sometimes you just can't sleep. When you're in the trench, when you're trying to trade in the trenches, man, you got to stay up. Or you just sleep on and off. And so love to see this. 101,127 Bitcoin, Ethereum back up over 2K at $2,047, up 13% today. Are you kidding me? Let's go. Everybody do the pump up crypto dance. Now, this doesn't mean shit. I know that. We're just excited that it's a good day. We're still down a gazillion percent. It's 13% up. Act like you've been here before. All right, XRP 223 up 5.5%. BNB 616 up almost 3% today. And then you got Solana 158 back up 150. Let's go. Up 9% today. And then we got Doji's. Doji's coming in at 19 cents finally. We're getting back to 20 cents. Let's go. Up 11.5% almost on the day. Number 9, Cardano up 11% to 73 cents. Tron number 10. 25 cents, almost 25. Oh, 25.5 cents, up 3%. Love to see SWE up 20% today. Let's go. Let's look at our gainers. Who's the biggest gainers? Brett on base. All right, 40%. Boomski. Virtuals, man, let's go. If you guys are, man, we're getting actually close to the $2 thing. Where are we in? Where are we in at 225 or are we in at 250? I can't remember at the moment. If you guys can remember where we got in on virtuals, Man, we're getting close to that $2 range, man. That thing was slipping and sliding for a little while. Pengu, I just put a Pengu sticker on my road case. So if you see me in Toronto next week, I'll be rolling around with my gear. If you want to shoot a pod or a clip or whatever you want to do, sound bites, I'm going to be a rolling studio. So we can do that. And it'll have my Pengu sticker on it. Dog whiff. All the memes are ripping today. Fart coin up 20%. Swee 20%. I didn't say Swee was a meme coin. It was just it came after the list of the memes. Okay. Love to see that. What about opportunities? Anything still slow? Anything still? World Liberty Financial, their stable coin is down. No. What about on the week? Anything? Man, I'm telling you what. We are getting close to being positivo. Let's go. Are we meme season loading? Can't say alt season because we'll look at the charts. We're going to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart and the others chart because that is going to be how we gauge a true altcoin season. Remember, the rising tide can float out. We can see price action go up, but we want to see a true altcoin season like we've seen in the past where we go from 70% down to 40-something%. We got to get up to 70% first, and that's like 5% more. So we got to probably have a little bit. We could probably still see everything go up. That would be something that we need to see is can we still see prices go up across the board while dominance continues to rise just a little bit? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works. Okay. Well, that is probably going to do it for the CoinMarketCap segment of today. Guys, it's a wonderful time for me to remind you, go ahead and smash that like button if you will. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. You're going to want to do that. And if you are not following over on X, come on, man. That's the jam platform right there. My guy, Doug, let's see. Did we have, I never even addressed our medal winners today. My gosh, I was just cruising and I just didn't even think about it. So here we go. Now, I don't know if you're still here. They might have left because there was no sound, but Vollmer picking up the gold. It's your boy Jay picking up the silver, and 6 a.m. Doug picking up the bronze. Man, I cannot wait to see Doug, Carrie, Chris, Mike, the Modern Canadian, Sandra, Rax, Dahl. Man, I cannot wait to see all y'all. And if I'm missing anybody, I am terribly sorry. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. And if I did, I apologize again. Next week, Toronto, baby. Let's get it. It's going to be a good time. A lot of work to do. We got a lot of stuff to do, but that's the good thing is we got a lot to do. All right, let's swing it on over here to, I actually want to spread a rumor. And so I think it's, that's fine. I'm looking at this chat. You guys are good. You guys are funny. All right. Here's a rumor. An article came out today. Let me pull this up so you guys can see this. Article came up today. Robinhood plans to build blockchain tokenization platform to enable EU investors to access US stocks. Okay. That's cool. Face value. Love it. Massive. Robinhood plans to launch a blockchain-based tokenization platform for EU retail investors using Arbitrum and Solana networks. It's really interesting. Ondo, USDY yield coin, expands to Arbitrum. This was just the other day, too. Solana and Ondo Finance introduce a new era of real assets with layer 0 integration. I hope that you guys can understand what I'm putting down here. Ondo has met with the SEC about all of this stuff. We know Ondo is the chosen one for tokenization here in the US. I think it's fair to say that Ondo is going to play a major role in this. And one thing that I absolutely love, and my guy, I'm gonna pull this tweet up because he reposted it. My guy, not telling you, 73 said Jay Chains is catching on to what I've been saying about Ondo and Robinhood for months. And so my post, I said, GM, you guys are getting the pieces of the puzzle. Now, GM has another meaning in the Ondo community because that's global markets, Ondo global markets. That's the integration, right? That is what that means. And so I said, GM, you guys are getting a piece of the puzzle. Rumor or true? Drop your comments. Ondo, Arb, Sol, Robinhood. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, when you pick the right horses in the race, you just know it. And this is Rumorsville, but if other people have been saying this for a while, and there's other people starting to think this, we're gonna have to find out. You know, I know our guy Nathan Ullman is gonna be at Consensus next week. Just saying. Got some big interviews lined up. Just saying. All right. So Ondo, Arbitrum, Solana, Robinhood. I wonder what that means. So let's keep searching on that, and we will. And we'll keep trying to find out the answers. But let's go back to the article here. Robinhood plans to build blockchain tokenization platform to enable EU investors to access US stocks. Robinhood taps blockchain to remain profitable. Okay. Robinhood reported a revenue of about $252 million from crypto trading services during the first 3 months of 2025. And we know that trading for the first 3 months of 2025 were absolute dog shit. We've been going down the entire time. And they made that much money on crypto trading services fees? Y'all understand what's going to happen when we get to the parabolic phase? Whew. Last month, Robinhood secured a brokerage license in Lithuania, which will play a crucial role on its entry into the EU market, particularly in the tokenization and trading of U.S. stock securities. Okay. Again, rumors are hot. Rumors are hot that Robinhood, Ondo, Arbitrum, and Solana, super alliance. You talk about some of the super alliances that you've seen. That's the one. That's the one right there. All right, and some Bitcoin news. Let's move it on over to Bitcoin news. Bitcoin hits $101,000 to reclaim six figures as Trump confirms the U.S.-UK trade deal. And my guy, Doug, I'm looking at you. Handshakes across the pond, me mate. Handshakes. Was that put a shrimp on the barbie? That's probably not the right one. Tip hip, cheerio. All right, you bloke. Come on. That doesn't quite work. But this announcement of a comprehensive trade deal between the U.S. and the U.K. provided a fresh tailwind to already rising markets. And this is what absolutely kicked things off for us this morning. Thank goodness that we had some positive action. We've been calling for it here that, look, it's just been bad, doom and gloom. Like, at some point, we got to see something swing. We have to. And by golly, we did. Today was a good day. So let's see. Bitcoin reclaimed the 100K mark for the first time in over 2 months, driven by bullish market sentiment, rising institutional adoption, and renewed macroeconomic confidence after DJT announced a major trade deal with the UK. All right. Trade deal eases tariff concerns. That's what a lot of people are worried about, these tariffs. I know that, you know, we've talked about them on the morning show. We've talked about it on this show. You know, opinions are opinions. Everybody's got them. Sometimes they stink. Sometimes they don't. It's okay. But at the end of the day, like most of us understood that the benefits from the tariffs, they were going to come a little bit later. Think of it like a bruise. Like, bruises always get worse before they get better. But that's just kind of how it works. And so we were going to see that kind of, you know, the thing with the tariffs. But hopefully, you know, everybody's kind of their eases are concerned, or they're concerned, or concerns are at ease. I don't know why I couldn't say that. Cautious optimism. I'm a big fan of cautious optimism here. Let's see. Bitcoin's new milestone follows a period of sideways consolidation. Although I did see that if we break and hold 101K, that we're probably going to blast to a new all-time high, only because, like, it's kind of like the momentum swing. And, like, think about what that does. If we start blasting to all-time high, then people start piling out, getting back into Bitcoin because they're unsure of, like, where it's going to stop, and just smoking Hopium the whole time, and then become the exit liquidity on that. But that's how you get that fucker to get up above 70%. And then when all that extra liquidity piles in, altcoin season, baby. We'll look at the chart and kind of what we're looking at as far as time frames go when we get to a little bit later in the show when we pull up in Trading View. But definitely appreciate you guys being here. Dingo, baby, maybe the dingo ate you, baby. What was the Seinfeld? Maybe that was the dingo. The dingo ate your baby was the Seinfeld one. But Jerry, what about the baby? Yeah, it was that one. All right. Standard Chartered. Their analyst had to apologize for a $120,000 Bitcoin price call, saying, a little too low. My bad. I like 330. That's my number. Let's see what they say here. Apologize that my USD 120K QT target may be too low, Joffrey Kendrick said, head of digital assets at Standard Chartered. He said it was a tongue-in-cheek comment. Last month, he wrote in a note saying that he expects Bitcoin to reach all-time high around 120 in the second quarter of 2025. Well, let's see. We probably will, but it can reach an all-time high, but it's going to blow past that. We know that. On Thursday, Kendrick said that his 120K Bitcoin price looks very achievable, and this may be even too low of a target. We know. Come on, Jeffrey. Come on, Jeffrey. Hey, Jeff. Let's get a little more bullish here, buddy. Let's see here. All right, so there's his apology. We expect these supportive factors to push Bitcoin to fresh all-time high around 120 in QT. We see gains continuing through the summer, taking Bitcoin towards our year-end forecast of 200,000. So there you go. Standard Chartered saying 200,000. So even if we don't quite get there, you can expect potentially close to a double up. But that's it, right? Because we're at 101 now. Now, if you guys were, not you guys, but the people who didn't listen, like some family members that I got, when we were saying like, hey, like put some money in this, like it's going to be a good year. And that was, several months ago. So, and I know that we reached up to 108 and we came back down, but you guys know, we all know where this is going this year. We know. We know. Smash the like button if you think that we're going to get to $200,000 Bitcoin. That's a double up from right here. Imagine what happens when Bitcoin pushes to 200K. Seriously. I mean, guys, we've been calling it. It's been saying it for years. This is going to be the bull run of all bull runs. This is the largest transformation. Blockchain technology is going, and well, it is already becoming the largest transformation of wealth in the history of humankind. And we are about to enter, hopefully this May, June, July, right? 2 months that we are going to enter quarter three of the second half of this year on a very positive note. And maybe even before then, that would be wonderful. But let's just kind of go with what we've been saying. And then quarter three is big. Quarter four, we just end on some fireworks and maybe even carry into 2026. Who knows? That's all. We'll determine that stuff as we get a little bit later down the road. We'll kick that can down the road, if you will. But I'll tell you what, man, the largest transformation of wealth in history of humankind. There is so much money to be made here. And that's it. And I'm just in it for the tech. Me too. Henry, me too. Like, I just like, the idea of being able to token gate a party with an NFT. That's all that I'm here for, is just being able to token gate parties, because I want to just throw parties and token gate them with NFTs. I tell you what, $330,000. Let's go. Bitcoin. Peak bull. Drop in the comments. I want to see you guys drop your peak bull Bitcoin price targets, what you would love to see. Smoke the hopium. Get crazy. Say whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Like, $1 billion is ridiculous, but like 300,000, like, if you got like nations starting to fight for this and they find a way that they can't buy at OTC anymore because maybe the OTC's desks run out, then they got to start buying them on the market. And then from there, we see price shock like we never seen before. That's why the race to getting just one full coin, we can do this, guys. That's what we got to do. That's the goal for this bull run, is to get yourself into a position to be able to buy one full Bitcoin. Andrew says 140K is where he's out. Mike Lowry says 135. Higher. Let me take you higher. That was Creed. I'm sorry that I did that to you. It was better than Nickelback, though. The dominant story for Bitcoin has changed again. Standard Chartered said it was correlation to risk assets, then became a way to position for strategic asset reallocation out of U.S. assets. It is now all about flows, and flows are coming in many forms. Boom. Yo. Texas. My dog tried to clean himself right outside of my office door, and that is not what I want to be hearing. That's the worst, like literally the worst, when you like you're sleeping at night and your dog like is just laying on the floor in your bedroom, and then all of a sudden you hear like you're like, dude, get out of here now. You just woke me up. Cleaning yourself, get out of my room immediately. That's usually like what I say. Yo, pal, what's up, fam? Hope y'all are doing well. Who else we got in the chat today? I appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much. Make sure, if you have just joined, now if you've been here, you already know, but if you have just joined, then you need to... Oh, then how about this one? Do me a solid and get mashing. Mash that like button. All right. Let's switch it on up to our next article. We got just a couple more here. Domino effect. Arizona forms second state Bitcoin reserve in 1 week. U.S. states are now competing for Bitcoin bragging rights, and you knew what was going to happen. You knew this was going to be the thing, even though they just like didn't Arizona like reject their Bitcoin reserve thing. Let's see. When Johannes Gutenberg built the first movable type printing press in the mid-15th century, he could hardly have imagined the impact it would have on humankind. Civilization-style achievements fell like dominoes over the next 300 years. People who weren't priests learned that to read within decades, and within a lifetime, the Protestant Reformation brought freedom of conscience, trailed by the explosion of scientific progress half a century later. All right. You guys get it. It's called domino effects. Now, when Satoshi toppled the first of his own set of dominoes, could they have anticipated that only 16 years later, multiple U.S. states would compete for Bitcoin bragging rights? And I have to say, and you have heard me say this many times, is that from the time that I got into crypto, which is in 2017, to where we are now, the whole goal and everything, that the mission was mass adoption. The mission was crypto is for everyone. Bank the unbanked. By God, we're going to bank the unbanked. And that was the biggest fucking mistake that we made, but that's okay. Because while we were worried about that, the institutions came in and they took over. Not that that wasn't ever going to happen anyway, but that's like to the whole thing of all of this, right? Is that from the time that I got in here, it's been really interesting to watch mass adoption happen, go from a movement where it's peer-to-peer, fuck the government, man, this is the cypherpunks, from a movement into an industry. And you've heard me say that like the Bitcoin conference was the clear indicator of all of this. Soon it became suits, it became more business, more corporate, right? And then you're like, okay, I get what's happening here. I see the change. And then now you talk about stories like this, where we've got states fighting for strategic reserves, and it's going to be the domino effect, and it's just going to happen. The whole idea of mass adoption came a little differently than I thought, right? Again, like I said, the institutions took over, and it's not like we ever stood a chance, but I don't think most of us were thinking, even though most people were saying, we need the institutions, we need our bags pumped, all that stuff. But the whole idea of watching this all shift and change into where now we've got the president talking about Bitcoin, we've got countries around the world fighting for it, mining it, doing what they can to get more Bitcoin. No, I did not think that we would be here now. And I think a lot of people are in the same position as me. I think we got to this point much faster than we anticipated, or maybe we're ready for, because now we're going to have to rely on other entities to get us there, get us across the finish line but that's probably the necessary evil. We talk about centralization. We talk about how it's very necessary for most people just getting their start here in crypto until you're ready to go on your decentralized path. And I think that we're going to kind of see that now that we've got to deal with institutions and countries and all that stuff. It's just, it's here, man. It happened. Now we're still early because you heard Samara Cohen the other day. We watched that video. Samara Cohen, she's the VP of ETFs over at BlackRock. She said BlackRock's digital asset journey is still young. It is still early. That means some people said, like, there was jokes in the comments. So that means we're late. But at the end of the day, like, if that's what they're saying, if those are the words that they're choosing to use, you still got some time. You still got some time. And we know that. Time is limited. You are on borrowed time, but you still got some. So choose it wisely, young Padawan. All right. Let's see. Well, we got the chat rolling. Let's go. Kenneth Rosales, 420 peak at its point, 2-day hold, and then jump on a slide right back to about 145. Man, imagine catching that. Man, could you imagine catching that short from fucking $500,000 down to a quarter, down to 150,000? Whew. There you go. Had one Bitcoin, then sold 75% of it into XRP and Ondo around 80K. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. Graph is almost back to 10 cents. Those are rookie numbers, Graph. Let's pump those numbers up. Come on, Graph. Come on, Graph. Up 33%. So it's not the absolute worst of our shrimping portfolio. It's up 30% compared to PYTH at 23%. But still, when everything else is like 90, 70, 50, 33 and 21 are just... And I remember giving, this is from Andrew, I'm gonna pop this up on the screen for you guys to see. I remember giving a presentation on how to use Bitcoin back in 2016 and never actually invested until 2020. I had other purposes for it. I mean, absolutely. But at the end of the day, like, I had heard about Bitcoin. I was living in Colorado. It's interesting. You've heard this story too. I was living in Colorado, and we were business guys doing our thing out there. And people would always ask, like, hey, would you take Bitcoin? Nope. Oh, that's for drug dealers and pirates, man. You need cash. Pay cash. If I would have said yes a couple times, it'd be a different conversation. But, hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And so it's funny how we all probably had an exposure point at some early stage where it was just a complete rejection. And you think about that and you go back to it and you're like, you know what I mean? So, all right. Got a few quick little hits and then we are, actually, no, I got one more real article and then we got some quick hits and then we're out of the news. And so I appreciate you guys. Let's get to this one. This is some... Actually, this is some top shelf hopium we're about to get. Oh. All right. I am successfully hopiumed up, and now I'm ready to share this article with you. Could $1,000 XRP become a reality? We are going to have to go through this entire article because this is some of the best hopium I've ever seen. Could $1,000 XRP become a reality? Now, I got a bet with AJ Wrights Crypto that XRP is going to be $10 by Christmas. And so I'm hopeful for fucking $10. $1,000 XRP. Now, I wonder what the timeline is and all that stuff. We'll get to all that stuff hopefully in this article. So we'll see. $1,000 XRP. Smash the like button. First off, XRP Army, throw them up. But smash the like button for $1,000 XRP because you know that would change your life. It's changing all of our lives if it happens. All right, here we go. XRP could hit $1,000 if Ripple dominates cross-border payments and boosts liquidity using XRPL. XRP holds key trend line at $2. Analysts say rally could mirror 2024's 600% surge if RSI and support levels hold. There you go. There's your quick story highlights. Now let's get into the meats and the potatoes. While much of crypto Twitter has gone silent on hyped up meme coins and trendy layer 2s, Big utility projects like XRP and HBAR have quietly kept building, forming deals, partnerships, and preparing for something much bigger behind the scenes. You have heard me say, and Brad Garlinghouse with Ripple had mentioned at the beginning of this year that the last 6 weeks of 2024, they did more partnerships than the previous 6 months. They didn't stop, man. They didn't stop. And we know that they are positioning themselves all over the world very, very well. $1,000 XRP, let's go. Crypto analyst Vincent Van Code says that XRP could play a major role in fixing one of the biggest problems in global finance, liquidity. He compares the XRPL to a surgeon's scalpel, a powerful tool that's only valuable in the right hands. And right now, it seems like the right players are getting into position. Here is a quote that says, these big companies don't rely on retail. All tokens that exchange hands in substantial volumes are done via desk pools OTC. Do you see what I'm saying? Like countries and big companies, they go OTC. And with that, we were saying yesterday, like when you see like price fluctuations, like in between that fluctuation is where they snag. And so you don't even like realize what's happening. It's how they do it. That's how it was explained to me, is that it's basically like the cream filling of an eclair. It's right in the middle. You know, until you break it open, you don't see it's there. I made that up. But. All right. So could XRP hit $1,000? So the real question isn't if XRP can hit 1,000, but when? Oh, okay. For that to happen, we need to secure a major share of the cross-border payment market, a position XRP as a global reserve currency. That's probably not going to happen. It seems like a far-fetched goal, but one that could help solve two of the financial world's biggest issues: liquidity shortages and the risk of endless money printing. Instead of constantly creating new dollars, networks like XRP could inject liquidity into a system in a smarter, more sustainable way. That's where assets like RLUSD and XRP could shine. Interesting. Short-term price, what are they saying? If it slips below $2, there might be a quick dip before it bounces back. Interestingly, the RSI, or the Relative Strength Index, recently broke above a key trend line, similar to what happened before a 600% rally in 2024. Guys, it's going to be explosive when it does, and across all fronts, not just on XRP. If XRP hits $1,000, I'm buying everyone here their own yacht. Let's go. All right, here's our quick hitters. Where did it go? All right, here it is. This one right here, this is from Bitcoin Archive over on X. Just in, UAE state-owned oil giant Emirat accepts Bitcoin and crypto payments at petrol gas stations. I had to say, I am not filling up my Lambo with Bitcoin gas. No way. No how. And then our next quick hitter, and this is so funny how, because I was just searching for articles before the show, and it just so happened both of these things popped up when I was searching different searches, and I was like, well, Bitcoin Archive, all over it today. Here's the other one. You can now pay with Bitcoin on Amazon. Now, I have no idea if this is actually true or not, but what I said, can I use BSV also? Doesn't matter what you want. I'm asking for a friend. We'll see. Just having fun with it. All right. That is it for our articles today. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me while we go through the news. It is now time to head on over to TradingView, right? Yeah, there it is. And there's a couple things we want to look at. Oh, yeah, so we definitely do show 3.1 trillion on the total crypto market cap here on here. Let me turn off the Leapfrog for the first couple that we've got. And then, guys, if there's any charts that you want to see, specifically also with the Leapfrog indicator on there, so it can kind of, if you've got some questions and how that looks and how that works, you know, just let me know. Drop them in the chat. You can do that. A-okay with me, fam. All right. So 3.11 trillion over here on TradingView for the crypto market cap. So like to see the nice little pop. Now we are still, this is the weekly, so let's zoom it. And you can see this nice little uptrend that we are forming. And this is a multi-year uptrend. And we're obviously riding high up on the trend line, gearing up for some explosive growth. So hopefully we will, see this crypto market cap Man, right here. What is this line? This is the end of the year, right? So say we do take this bull run through the remainder of this year, and it could go on longer. I mean, I was saying earlier, I said this in the Phemex show, sorry, is that, if you take a look at the stock market, Bitcoin and altcoins, all that stuff, it looks maybe like potentially we could be seeing the stock market and Bitcoin pull apart. And I'm hopeful, extremely hopeful, that we're going to start really seeing Bitcoin and altcoins start to pull apart, right? And so it's okay for Bitcoin to have its 4-year cycle and to do its thing in the math and the miners and all that stuff. But the idea of what crypto is and how it's growing and the growth that we will see over the next couple of years, I would love to see a total split and for them to run parallel. Maybe not, have any, they don't have to like go with each other or whatever, but the whole idea of watching the stock market and the crypto market kind of come blend a little bit closer. Remember, 2026, the NASDAQ wants to go 24/7 Monday through Friday. And so that will have a little bit more of a crypto feel to it as well. And I just really think that, over the next several years, that as the market caps expand and grow, especially for certain sectors like DPIN, RWAs, gaming, all that shit, that we are going to need to outgrow what Bitcoin does. And that's okay. Think about emerging techs and industries and markets and all that and have you. The idea of let's go on like a US stock market run, like a 12-year run, like it did, in the 90s, late 80s to the 2000s. Let's do it. Anyway, so 3.11 trillion. If we can continue this thing on this trajectory that you can see that we've touched tops 3 times. Let me pull out the old pan. 1, 2, and 3. So 3 times, this is our trend line, right? And so it's your trend until it's not. And so we've got a chance to come up here. And if that's the case, and we do this by the end of the year, that puts us over a $5 trillion market. And that would be great. I kind of feel like we're due for maybe like really like a $7 to $8 trillion ecosystem, but we'll get there. Here is the others chart. Let's zoom in on this. We could keep it as the weekly. Deesh. So we are making a nice little come up, guys. The others chart is, remember, all of the crypto in the ecosystem minus the top 10. So you don't have Bitcoin, Ethereum, stables, XRP, yada. So this is the true indicator of altcoin season in conjunction with a dropping Bitcoin dominance. And so we are starting to move up. This was back in November, guys. This move right here, and we're gonna look at something a little different here. That was 118% move up. And that was an appetizer of what a true altcoin season looks like. Because let's zoom this out. Let's bring this over. Because a true altcoin season, 3,400%. You know what I mean? You feel me? And is it going to sustain that kind of a growth? I don't know. But all I'm saying is what we saw in November, if this was your first time, if that was your first experience with a bull run, you ain't seen nothing yet. Boom, boom, baby, just ain't seen nothing yet. Because it is wild, man. We are going to have a good time. And that was not a good song. And I feel like, who is that? I did him dirty. Who is that? Not Bob Seger. Who is that? You guys know in the chat. Drop it in there who that was. I cannot think. Okay, so all right, so that was our others. Here you go. The other day we drew this. Let's go back to the daily so we can see how this is actually playing. Dominance going down a little bit today, as you can see, but we got to make that journey to 70%. That to me that's what I'm hopeful for. And if we get an altcoin season beforehand, then so be it. But when we zoom this sucker out, and this is the Bitcoin dominance chart, and you guys are probably getting annoyed of me even talking about this, but I think it's important. We look at the times that Bitcoin on a dominance level has hit 70%. What happens after? It's those massive drops in dominance that cause those massive rips in the others chart. And that's altcoin season. So that is altcoin season. If XRP hits $1,000, the government is going to be super stoked with my capital gains taxes since they get half. They don't get half, man. And capital gains tax is going to hopefully go away. It's just taxation is theft. You guys know that. All right, there is that chart. XRP, how are we looking? How are we looking? Let's get off the weekly. Let's go to the 48 minute and we'll zoom it out. So it looks like we technically have a breakout from the downtrend that we have been going since December here on XRP, which is exciting for all of us. Let's put on the Leapfrog and see what we've got going on here. We're gonna have to zoom it way in. So this, it's one of those things where we had a very bullish morning. We've had a very bullish day. Our VWAPs are going to have to keep catching up with us unless we've got to go down to meet them. They will continue to pull up. If the price stays up, they will continue to come up there and meet that. But there's always that threat of them coming down. So, potentially you could see this thing slip back down to 217 to go back and touch the previous day VWAP. So, I would expect, at some point this week, it is Thursday, that we could, make a run at the previous week. However, it looks like we did that yesterday, actually. So we're probably okay. And so I would say, if anything, the SMA and the previous day, those are sometimes the targets. And I wouldn't short. I don't do shorts, especially, when we have got the potential for things to rip. And so, that being said, I would wait for the opposite conditions, right? In my opinion, I'm waiting for us to come like down here and we got to catch up to get to the dailies. Cause then if it overshoots it, wonderful. Like that's just more money. But, potentially putting in a short to try to come back down to this daily. I mean, what does that even get you? From where we are now to come back to the daily is 2%. I mean, you throw on 10x, you got 20% pump. Like, is that enough? It depends on what you're loading up in your trade. So you got to make those decisions. For me, it's not worth it. And so I don't trade down. I don't put in shorts, maybe every now and then for fun or to prove a point or whatever. But it's not really, I don't really like doing that, especially like because we've been kind of volatile and to the upside and I'm bullish. Like I much prefer to put in a long. All right. Man, you didn't get a notification, but you made it. Crypto drunk, my dude. Let's get it. Cody for the win. Aha. How bullish am I on Flare? Let's take a look. I'm not, but maybe I should be. Let's look. Flare coming in at number 63. Show you that here. Coming just under 2 cents, 3% today. Let's look at the all-time chart. All-time chart, man, some chop. When it pumps, man, you get some gains. That's for sure. 103 billion total supply. That's probably too many. Maybe, maybe not. 65 billion in circulation. I mean, you're 65% is not bad. There's about 60%. What's the percentage? Let's look at their website. Hey, it's been a long time since I looked at Flare, man. The blockchain for data. Flare is a full stack layer 1 solution designed for data intensive use cases. Okay. Fundamental technology, enshrined data protocols, Ethereum virtual machines, Flare stake, assets, FTC, FTSO, Flare 2.0 vision part 1, expand Flare consensus across chain. Some cool visuals. Let's take a look at, and the ticker is FLR, right? Yep. FLRUSDT. As you guys know, I'm going to pull up the spot crypto. Actually, well, and we'll look at spot for that's fine. Here you go. Here is the chart for Flare. Again, this is on Phemex. If you want to trade with us, if you want to be part of the squad, one of the goons, one of the pizza trade goons, I don't know, whatever. But join the team. Link in bio. Hit that. You can also find it in the description of the video. Click it. Join up. And let's make some trades. Let's get on the squad. That's on Phemex. That's where this chart is from. Is the USDT spot trading pair over on Phemex. Okay, so you could see this thing take a little bit of a trip down to, this is probably the previous day, right? 1.5%. Again, if you're into shorting, there you go. There's an opportunity for you to make a little bit. The SMA is even a little bit farther down. That's right there. That's 1.69. So really, again, not a huge incentive to even throw in a short. It doesn't really look like, there's much to get, especially with the bullish narrative and kind of the momentum moving forward. So no, I'm personally not putting any shorts. I'll wait for the dip and then I'll pick it up and then I'll catch the rip. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Yeah, that's probably a much better chart for you guys to see. So we'll do that. There you go. All right. Here's the Ondo chart. Ondo, way up above all of these Leapfrog indicators for the VWAP. And so I have gotten rid of all of my positions. I did, I think, about 6 or 7 trades today on Phemex, as you guys know. And they weren't massive. They're like, 10, 15%, whatever it is. But I just keep putting in trades when the conditions are right, when my trade parameters are met. And so there you go. Again, I'm ranked number 46 in the trade competition here on Phemex for the Pizza Carnival. Went up to $45,000, guys. Come on, get up in here. Get in the trading comp. You can do it. I've got faith in you, young Jedi. So I was thinking earlier today, like, oh, we'll look at the conditions. Maybe we'll get ourselves into a trade. However, for my comfortability, we are just a little bit too far above all of these numbers. If we do kind of come break down and we come back down here where we were earlier today or yesterday, that was yesterday afternoon. Like if it was down here and our VWAP stuff was up there where it was all a catch up, man, you find me getting into a trade for sure. Here's that chart. Everything's riding high today. So take your profits. Make sure you take your profits. If you never really know when things are going to stall out for the day. Kind of feel like, when you start looking at longer time frame candles, when you see them not stretched out as so much and maybe they're starting to go linear, maybe that's why it's time to get out of that trade, unless you're big up and you're holding it long term. So most of the charts do look the same today. Absolutely. So I had got all my trading in early today. I hit my goals, did all that stuff. So I hope you guys did too. That's the dream. That's the hope right there. So I believe, guys, we got through our bullshit. We got through the market. We got through all of our news. We did not do a video reaction today, but that's okay. We took today off. We can maybe do another one tomorrow or just pick that back up next week. And we got through some charts. Was there anything that I missed from you guys? Do you want to see a specific chart, see where some of these VWAPs are at on your favorite, or that's it? Happy Thursday. All right, that's going to do it. I appreciate you guys. And if there is any charts that you want to see, shoot me a DM or shoot me an email, jchains@web3breakfast.com. You can get a hold of me. If there's any questions you got, CODY and XR. We looked at those, didn't we? Didn't we look at those yesterday? Man, this is like a CODY channel now. I'll look it up though. All right. CODY on Phemex. Oh, CODY had a hell of a day too. Tell you what. Yep. Be wary. If you are in a position, this thing has the potential. It did look, there are no other leaps above it. It went in actually, CODY touched the year-to-date VWAP. So that's a great indicator that maybe it's going to cool off, or that's where it chills out, builds some new momentum, and then we start getting some new lines. Watch this thing and maybe take your profits, or just, if you are in a trade, figure out what you got to do. But you might have seen your pump and things may come back down. So do what you got to do to protect that capital. Let's go. We're going to want to cover CODY. I'll have to dig more into it. Maybe we'll do a video about all this soon. So I'm probably going to start doing some more project style reviews when I get back from Canada. I think that would make the most sense, not to try to do that stuff now. And so, yeah. All right. I think we got it on our list of, yes, we do. It is on our list of coins that we can chart any day. So we'll check back in with it. That is for sure. I love Montana, man. You'll see me in Montana at some point. I'll come out there. Let's see here. B3. That was let's see. That's total 3. Do I still have it? No, we'll have to pull this one up. I know that was AJ, one of AJ's like favorite picks. That's a gaming project, and so gaming. Let's see. Actually, let's go B3 USDT. Where can we find this? Oh, spelled that wrong. Yeah, you can sure get it on Phemex. There it is. Let's pull up this last chart here, and then we are going to skedaddle for the day. Look, like B3, like, you know, CODY went up and touched the year to date. This one's got a little bit of room to go for it to do something like that. But you can see it's kind of starting to level off, maybe start to come back down. The daily VWAP for where we're at right now would be a 4.8, almost a 5% drop to get back to the daily. If you are comfortable shorting, like that may be, again, what's the narrative to keep this thing rolling? It's just gaming, right? If I'm not mistaken, this is just a gaming coin. And unless there's something major that would keep this thing pumping up, probably what goes up comes down. That's how crypto works. You can see that it's done this a lot before, where it gives back the gains. So I would firmly like expect, and you know, no shit on this. I'm not throwing shit on. I'm just showing you how this daily VWAP thing works. Is that at some point today you'll probably see this thing come back down and touch that. So be on the lookout for that. And then from there, you know, get back into a long, because again, momentum's going up, but this thing has a tendency to just like act as a magnet. And you can see not only is the daily on there, but you've also got, I believe, let's see, that's an orange one. So it's the previous week to date. So that's the week to date. So the daily and the week to date are at the same exact spot. I would fully expect that thing's going to come back down there. It'll snap down. You know, if it just wicks down and touches it and goes back up and has fun. Just be wary. All right. That shall do it, fam. I sure do appreciate you. As I always do, you got to understand that this show doesn't even run without you guys. So thank you so much for being here. You could have done anything for the last hour, but you chose to come hang out with me, and I appreciate that. It means the world to me. So thank you so much. The quid pro quo, the thing that you can do to show your love, a little pat on the back, if you will. Go ahead and smash the like button if you are watching on YouTube. If you are watching on X, hit that heart. Appreciate you guys. All right, that's it. Remember to do something to make yourself great. Improve yourself 1%, whether it's in your job, your relationships, money, whatever it is, your health, your wealth, your body. Remember, healthy minds, healthy bodies, get those healthy portfolios. We out of here, baby. See you tomorrow.